Welcome back to Commercially Speaking, the only commercial real estate podcast where a CCIM instructor and former Marine patiently walks a theater kid through capitalization rates using small words, analogies, and deep, deep sighs.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yeah, I'm Bo Barron, CCIM, broker, investor, co-founder, and the guy holding the map while Timmy reenacts every car scene from Tommy Boy.
I'm Timmy Barron, ADHD, actor, comedian, and proud co-host of the third-ranked CRE podcast in America, which proves two things. Number one, there is a list.
Yeah, how about that?
Number two, no one has time to fact check.
Today's guest is legendary. He helped launch not one, but two of the most impactful PropTech platforms in the game.
Let me say that again, not just because you tripped over your words.
Yeah,
this man has co-founded more successful startups than I have coffee punch cards. First, he helped launch Crexi, aka the place where listings live and die. Then he co-founded Capitalize, which is basically a data-fueled supercomputer that helps brokers fund deals without crying into their spreadsheets.
He's streamlined CRE finance, built tools that actually get used, and he's here to pull back the curtain on how it all happened.
And as someone who thought cap rate was a regional soda, I'm very excited.
This is a guy who saw the pain points in the CRE process and built actual tools instead of just starting a podcast about it.
Unlike us.
Let's welcome a true innovator, the co-founder of Crexi, the co-founder of Capitalize, and a man who may or may not be made entirely of funding rounds and founder fuel, Luke Morris.
What an
Welcome,
intro.
Luke. Yeah.
What an intro.
I think he's getting to the point where he's trying to create the most tongue-tied things for me to say.
Yeah. It's gotten to a point where we've done enough of them where I gotta find something to mess with you when you read it, either for the first time or you haven't said it out loud yet. So.
Well, welcome,
that was a great
Luke.
Intro, very, very well done. Other than
thank
having, maybe I'll have my brother write you guys an intro tune like the All In podcast or something like that on top of it.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah.
amazing.
That
That'd be
would be
amazing.
great.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right.
Okay. Oh, well, Luke, that we had we talked with Shanti, right? Mm-hmm. And that was my introduction. That was my introduction into Crexi, what Crexi is, because I'm not a CRE guy. But yeah, will you tell us a little bit about? Give us like a 5-minute origin story, where you grew up, what led you into doing what you do now up until today.
Yeah, I was telling Bo, I grew up in Southern California, little surf town, Laguna Beach. Played volleyball there, ended up getting into USC in 2005, and then graduated in 2009. Literally the worst time, other than maybe 1930 for the job.
Yeah, maybe.
Right? It was like the bottom of the economy. I think maybe it bottomed out a little bit more after that, but it was pretty clear we're going into the GFC right in 2009.
Right.
Got lucky, through an introduction, fell into what is, auction.com, or now 10X, right? They were notoriously great at the residential auctions, right? Like they had those Eric Estrada commercials, and they were auctioning off homes live in ballrooms. And then when I joined, they started the commercial real estate, online only commercial real estate auctions, helping navigate or having sellers liquidate a lot of the assets from the fallout from the GFC. So had a lot of great exposure to tons of different markets, tons of different brokers, like built really great relationships, different seller profiles, saw pretty much every asset type in every state across the United States, because, I wasn't just the, industrial broker in the Inland Empire for CBRE, right, or SVN, right? So it gave me a lot of great exposure, and it got me exposure to technology, right? So nobody thought that John Gray at Blackstone would be so excited about bidding $50 million on an office deal in Glendale, California, but he was, right? And we were making markets online, transacting commercial real estate online. It was still, there was due diligence faults. We always had a broker, right? But it was clear technology was going to shift commercial real estate, right? And if residential real estate is 10 years behind everybody else in technology. Like commercial real estate's maybe 20 years behind.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure.
Like 10 years behind residential. But it's still a massive asset class, right? Like $32+ trillion of assets in commercial real estate in the United States alone, right? Behind equities and residential real estate. Like commercial is third. So it's a pretty big, massive industry, right? And so I was fortunate during my time at Auction.com to meet one of my co-founders and the CEO of Crexi, Mike DeGiorgi. I was actually the first person he met at Auction.com, right? I gave him a tour, kind of showed him the ropes. Like he ended up being one of the top producers at Auction.com. We always stayed close and brainstormed ideas, and those ideas ended up being Crexi, right? And he came out. I remember he had left a couple months before, and he's like, "Hey, Luke, I'm downstairs. We got to talk." And we ended up doing. There was like a Tommy Bahama in the office building I was in New York City, right? And we took shots, and we're like, "We're gonna do this." And I left like 2 weeks later, right? And ended up joining Crexi, and we started it out of what was like a really cool old house in Venice, like right near the canals, kind of Snapchat style. It was in vogue, right? Like Snapchat for many years had a lot of their office space and like spread out houses across Venice. So, we couldn't really afford Class A office rents as a startup. So we rented a house. It was like one of the coolest experiences ever. We were in this house for like 3 years.
Nice.
Right before getting like proper office space. But, we built that from a couple people in a house in Venice to, I'm sure Shanti filled you in, like, 4 different business lines: sale and lease, pro, data pro, auctions, right? We went full circle, and now we have an auction platform on Crexi as well. So, grew that from 4 listings in October. We're coming up on our 10-year anniversary of the site being live. We had 4 listings October 26th of 2015 to, gosh, I don't know what the numbers we project or we use in marketing stats at Crexi today. Maybe like 750,000 listings.
Wow.
Active on Crexi right now between sale and lease.
So I want to know what the 4 were. Do you remember what those 4 listings were?
Yes, it was an easy pawn. It was, and I remember the listing brokers. It was like Kevin Mansour, Jason Vittorino. Gosh, I blanked the other person's name. It was like a couple easy pawns and like Dollar Generals. Oh man, I feel like I'm doing the team a disservice for not knowing the rest, but it was like couple single tenant net lease deals in Texas.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah. But 10 years. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's And how close were you to the beach when you're on Venice? Were you like right on the beach?
The canals, you know where the canals are? Right? Like there's like have you been to Venice?
I have, yeah.
Washington Street. There's like the Whaler, couple of those like Hinano Cafe, like less than a quarter of a mile. Less than that as the crow flies to the ocean.
Yeah, okay. That's very cool. Because I know that I was friends with he didn't start Snapchat. He got big on Snapchat. I forget his name now. Anyway, not to go down that road, but Venice Beach, one of the places my wife and I first touched on land and had a little date together.
Yeah,
amazing.
That's right. I didn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Special place in Timmy's heart and my heart.
That's right. For 2 different reasons, but yes, very much so. I met my wife on a cruise ship, and we would disembark in LA. And so we'd have we were both working on the ship, so we'd have a few hours to kill, and we'd always we took a little bus tour that took us to Venice, and
amazing.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then I've been back several times.
What did you think of Venice at the time?
It was cool. This is in 2014 or 15. And it was cool. The Muscle guys were really cool.
Muscle
down
Beach,
there. Yeah. Muscle Beach. The sunglasses we got were really awesome. That's what I remember. The sunglasses were really great.
It's like a funky, almost like stuck in time, place.
That's right.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. All right, so now when you talked about you two all of a sudden had all these ideas, right? and you went and took some shots at Tommy Bahama. Will you walk me through that conversation a little bit? Like, what were the ideas that sparked what was going on? What kind of pain points did you see? And you're like, oh, we could fix that.
It just felt like existing software was kind of like the simplest way I can put it, like Craigslist versus Airbnb, right? It's like you put your listing out in the market, and it was like there was a phone number you call, you kind of took it offline. It was pretty clear that there was like a need for something more vibrant and more active, like a more active marketplace, like hosting due diligence, tracking everything, engagement, submitting offers online.
Yeah.
Right. It was, again, it was like we were shifting it from Craigslist for your apartment rental or your home rental, vacation rental, to like Airbnb. Right. That was like, I think it's a good analogy, right? Like stale billboard to more active, like tracking of leads, communicating, submitting offers, due diligence, photos, videos, like something that's much more active marketplace, right? With different statuses, right? Like the listing, is it call for offers, right? Are you, is it invest in final, or is it just active, right? So making it, and then the matching system, like the way that people search, right? Everybody, you might search retail in California, and I search retail in California on Crexi on the demand side if you're a tenant or if you're a buyer. But based on your click behavior and based on your search behavior, you might see different results than I see. So it's like custom matched to the behavior of the user, which was different than existing incumbents, right? So making the right match, making the right connection, and then we are the kings of email follow-up too. Like, we still lean into the old school way that brokers or owners like to operate. Like, the industry is still very much in email, and like we understood by embracing and extending that behavior was like a good way of getting great adoption, right?
Yeah. And I think Spotify was the only thing at that time that was like, oh, based on what you like, we're going to show you more things. Right? Spotify was doing that around that time.
Recommendations.
Right? It's like, recommendations.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember
it's like
Pandora.
On, everybody has their own algorithm on TikTok or
right.
Instagram, right? They're serving you up based on everything you're clicking and liking and.
Yeah,
that's right. That's old news now, but you're right. It was Pandora before Spotify came around, and Pandora was so cool because you tell it what you like, and it would suggest things.
Like it knew.
Yeah,
it literally could learn and serve up.
Right.
My playlist from high school, basically.
I know.
Yeah. That was cool.
Just a bunch of Creed and
all that '90s alternative grunge rock
Blowfish.
And stuff.
Yeah,
Dave Matthews Band, all that stuff. Yeah.
That's right. So now it sounds, unless you have more questions about Crexi, but it sounds like you're now doing Capitalize, which according to LinkedIn has been around since 2024, right? So you're about a year into that. It sounds like and correct me if I'm wrong, you're doing the same thing in another area, but in where we're at today. You're trying to get ahead of the technology game with AI. Instead of me guessing, why don't you?
Yeah, right. Tell us about Capitalize.
Yeah.
Yeah. So during the last, call it year, I was at Crexi, like 10 years, right? Like Crexi is always going to be family to me, right? Like I miss those people dearly. It was such a great experience, but like a lot of co-founders don't stick around for more than 4 or 5 years, right?
Yeah.
So 10 years at a company is like decent amount of time, and I was kind of hungry to start something new, and at the end of 22, early 23, voila, ChatGPT, right?
Yeah.
So it was pretty clear that there was a new platform revolution coming, right? Where I didn't think I was going to go create like ChatGPT all over, but it was pretty clear that those types of tools would make aggregating data or crunching unstructured or semi-structured data, right? That there was going to be a new, in like the way that you code. I'm not a coder, but it was pretty clear in conversations I was having with engineers, like it was a new platform. Like anything that was built or didn't shift into this new platform on top of AI, I think is going to be kind of a dinosaur in the next few years. So like,
Yep.
it was pretty clear AI was going to be a new platform. You know, the state of the commercial real estate financing market perked my ears, right? It was like, okay, the market's going into a more challenging period, higher interest rates, deal volumes are down. You know, there's a need when, you know, times are more challenging for a cost-effective, more seamless, affordable tool is arguably going to be in greater demand when times are tough.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And riding the wave up versus like the market's hot and what is inevitable, you will be chasing the market down, right? So
Sure.
all these things kind of came together. It was pretty clear I wanted to be, you know, I had explored stuff that was outside of PropTech. It just still seems that there's so much opportunity in commercial real estate. You know, back to what I was saying earlier, it's like $30 trillion market, right, of assets in the United States, and like we're still 20 years behind everybody else. Maybe that's an exaggeration. It was just still clear there was a lot of opportunity, and I could apply a lot of my relationships that, you know, I wanted to stay and call it an adjacent space to Crexi, right? So Capitalize focuses on, you know, we use AI on every level, right? But primarily to like aggregate, cleanse, organize commercial real estate financing data, and then we deliver those in like a great, easy to use experience, you know, web-based for mortgage brokers and lenders.
Ah.
So what lender is active in a market? Like we have a match score that matches you to the best lender based on your search parameter in a market based on their activity, right? Like 100,000 lender profiles, you can search, you know, new originations in the market, right? So you can see liquidity in a market, right? You can see which loans are still active, what has been transferred, what loans are maturing, right? Which is in this wave or this, there's lots of, you know, wall of maturing loans coming up, right? It's in the, I feel like it's in the news every day.
Yeah.
Right? There's like wall of maturities, right? Like there was some market updates on banks, like some of their default or, you know, it seems like this wall of maturities is catching up to some of these banks, right? So in this world where, you know, you can't pick up loans off the ground like in 21 through 23 and a half, right? Having AI-powered insights into commercial real estate finance is going to be more valuable, right? That was long-winded,
Right.
but hopefully you kind of understand the thesis of Capitalize, right?
Yes, I am a little bit. To borrow your analogy from earlier, what would you say Capitalize's Craigslist counterpart would be? To help me understand. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like if, you know, we used Airbnb as the example for Crexi, maybe like, that's a good question. I don't have a good answer. Like,
Well, I mean, like,
you could argue like better,
Yeah.
better.com on the residential side, maybe.
Okay.
Is a good example of that. I don't have a really good, you know, what is the Airbnb to Craigslist if, you know,
Well, let me ask you.
for Capitalize.
No, that's.
Let me ask a version
And that's
of that
probably a
question.
good thing.
Yeah,
This
maybe.
is so brand new. Anyway.
Well, how would you articulate the problem that Capitalize solves?
You know, the lack of transparency, you know, very opaque market, and we're helping those brokers and those lenders, you know, turn them superhuman, right? So using the technology available to make their job easier, right? So I'm a big believer in enabling the real estate community to operate more effectively and make them more superhuman rather than totally disintermediating. I mean, that's a question that I always get a lot of times. It's like, are you going to disintermediate the broker? Are you going to disintermediate the lender, right? Like, these are very complex assets. This is not, I keep using this example, like we're not trading Apple stock like on Robinhood. Like two gas stations catty-cornered from each other could be vastly different, right? So it's not a commoditized asset. Big, complicated capital structure, right? Two catty-cornered gas stations might have different ingress and egress, right? The C stores could be different, right? The
Sure.
gas, the operator of the gas could be different, right? One could be CMBS, one could be a credit union loan, right? So it's like, it's very complicated, and you need, you know, an SVN or a CBRE or a good broker to help them navigate that, right? And part of that is the cap stack. Like Crexi's really good at that on the listing, connecting people like on the listing side, and we're really good at helping people navigate the capital markets, right?
Yeah. I know CapStack. I know what a capital stack is.
You also know what CMBS is.
Yes, I do. Commercial mortgage-backed security loan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Timmy's come a long way, man. Okay, so what are some use cases, like if I'm a broker, because we've got a lot of brokers who are listeners, a lot of investors who are listeners. Mm-hmm. What are some use cases for Capitalize for a broker specifically?
Yeah, so let's focus on like a mortgage broker, who's our probably like ideal customer profile, right?
Okay.
Like they're going to have their relationships. Like I like to go to, as a mortgage broker, like I have these 10 relationships I consistently, especially if I have like, I work in a certain market like California, right? So that's good to have those relationships. But when, you know, banks might not be lending as much, or credit unions might not be lending as much, like private capital is increasing, like private lending is increasing exponentially. It's supposed to double to, you know, 3 trillion from 1.5 to 3 trillion by 2030, right? So
Whoa.
relationships are changing, right? So it's still good for you if you want to look up a lender, like, and especially if it's a market. I gave the example of like, I only do loans in California. Then you get a loan in Nevada. Well, now you can go to Capitalize, type in an address or type in a location, property type, etc., and we'll match you to the best lenders in that market, right? So making sure that you turn over every stone in the markets that you're in, double checking, right? Like, okay, I have these 10 relationships, and we hear it all the time from our brokers. It's like, man, I didn't know Israel Discount Bank was doing retail loans in Huntington Beach, right? So making sure that you're exposing your sponsor to every potential source of lending in that market is still a really great thing to know. Even if you have your 10 relationships, maybe that additional lender pushes those other 10 lenders to provide better, more competitive terms, right? Because we're giving you those kind of insights, right?
Sure.
So that's like a primary reason, right? And when you get that loan that's out of your comfort zone, right, which happens, you don't have to say no, right? It's like you look superhuman, you look like a genius, but like, I know who the top lender is in Nevada for retail, whatever it is. Like you just 30 seconds go on Capitalize and you look like a genius. Like this bank and that bank, and it's ranked, right, using like an algorithm. It shows you like who the best lender is for you in that market, right? So that's one of the problems. And then like, you know, you want to look at which borrowers are active in a particular market, like who's deploying capital, which sponsors, right? Like we pull that information in real time in the originations tab. Like, wow, these groups are very active, right? Like deploying capital, look at all these new originations, real time. Real time is really important, especially in the market today, seeing exactly which loans are getting done and which loans are active or which lenders are active today. Because if you're getting information that's 2 or 3 months old, like rates have changed, markets have, it's very, very, it's like it ebbs and flows so much right now. Like a lender could be doing something 2 months ago that's not doing it today, right? So you need to have real time insights into what's going on in that market, right? And then for the lead gen component, right? Like you just closed a loan in Dallas, right? I was on with Marcus and Melchep earlier, showing them like, you know, here's a loan. They want to drop a pin on the map, and they want to contact. They just closed a loan. Like contact all the active borrowers or borrowers with maturing loans within 60 miles of that closing that they did, and they want to get to all the borrowers with those maturing loans or originations, right? So lead gen, and this is a direct line to commission for the broker or the lender, like making fees as a lender, right? So like we align with what the brokers, frankly, as you know, Bo, like care about the most. Like how are you going to make me money and make me money faster, and like so I can go play golf more, right? Like we joke, but it's true, right? Like you mentioned, Bo, you know, the psyche of the broker, and I think that if a broker could just get mailbox leads and the loans would do it themselves, they'd probably be on the golf course most of the time. So
You know, there's some of that, but there's also an element of this that I'm chewing on as you're describing this, and that is that what you're calling superhuman, making if you can show a broker how your tool makes them look good in front of their prospects and clients, like you can get them to use your tool. Like it's kind of the ego stroking nature of, you know, the altruistic side of this is, hey, I want to be able to serve my clients better, and you're giving me the opportunity to serve my clients better. But you know, the other side of that coin
like
is
a
you're
rock
making me
star.
look really good,
Right.
You know,
make them look like a rock star.
Yeah. And that
they
that
win
moves them.
by looking like a rock star, and then they're happy to stick with us for longer, right? So it's like alignment with what makes them look like a rock star, right? Like we give them those tools that make them look rock star is better, but superhuman, rock star, right? All
The
done.
guide, the Obi-Wan, the Yoda, the one that can show the Luke Skywalker.
We'll even white label capitalize. So you want like, I know we keep going back to SVN, but you have a history there, Bo, right?
Sure.
So it's like, we'll throw the SVN logo in there and the site's all clean and white. So like whatever logo you put in there pretty much matches with the UI because it's like clean white UI, right? So we'll swap out like svn.capitalize.io or something like that. And you can put the logo in there. So it's like, look, you can makes it seem like it's like your platform. Right?
Yeah.
So that's the type of support. Like same thing at Crexi. Like we always showed the broker their logo on the tiles on the
That's right.
in the search to get
Nice
exposure
touch.
and on the listing page, right? It's like we love supporting the brokerage community, right? Same thing. It's same principles I've carried over into Capitalize.
Can we to take a step back? I got a dumb question. Okay,
Great.
On our first ever podcast, we did the one of the first questions I asked Bo was what is a broker? Right, I didn't understand what that was. Now I would love just a little insight as in what I understand a commercial real estate broker to be. What's that difference between that and a mortgage broker?
It's the same thing. It's just helping them structure, line up capital appropriately, right? Like listing broker, matching between buyer and seller, and then the buyer needs to line up capital, and you have a broker that specializes in that, right?
Okay.
And a broker to me is somebody that like, yes, they know the market, but it's somebody that like they sell trust and confidence, right? To, in this case, the borrower, right? So
Right.
I think it's critical that they're like, again, they should know the asset front and back. They should know the lender. They should know the market, right? Like, but they're really there to, because this is a big investment, right? Might be somebody's like life savings or something they're putting into a building, right? Like, you want to have that person that's going to like hold your hand and sell, build that trust and sell confidence.
Right.
Right. That's the biggest thing to me, right? It's like you're there to give real confidence to this person that's like not buying Apple stock for $250, right? Like they might be
Right.
putting in 250 million into this,
Right.
like 2.5 million, like they're all their savings and like $2.5 million of equity into this deal that's like supposed to be their retirement, right? So it's like brokers are key to that confidence.
Right. We just had Alan. I just wanted to give a shout out to Alan because that what you just explained made me think of Alan in his book, The Sequence. Quick shout out to Alan because we just talked about all that, gaining trust and knowing your asset and what to do backwards and forwards so you can serve the people. Yeah.
Yeah, but just to answer your question a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Who's your car insurance with?
Geico. Do you know the little?
State Farm.
I have heard Geico. Yeah.
Yeah, you know the little lizard. Yeah, Geico.
Well, you could go.
I got Jake from State Farm, I guess.
Jake from Strike.
Geico.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Jake's all right.
So like Geico sells Geico insurance.
Yes.
State Farm sells State Farm insurance. But
Like a
there
good
are
neighbor.
insurance brokers who have relationships with all these different insurance companies. So like my guy is Todd Anderson at Assured Partners, who just got bought out by Gallagher. And he's got relationships with all these different insurance companies. And so when we're putting insurance on all our different properties and stuff, he's going out and finding who's the best fit for that property. Who's got the best coverage with the best prices and so he's
similar.
not captive to just selling State Farm. He's got relationships with it. So a mortgage broker, same deal. They've got relationships with all these different lenders, and the buyer who's looking for the ideal or best option for a mortgage,
I see.
has the insurance broker go find that for him. What that insurance broker can now do is use Capitalize. and
Mortgage
see-
broker. Right.
Mortgage broker.
Yes.
Like I've got relationship with these 10, but now I've got the ability to see who's active, what their appetite is, what they're liking these days, what
Right.
kind of terms, and compare that with what I've already got these relationships with. And maybe I can find some better options for my clients.
And not not only that, but you've got the local people. I'd imagine the people you have relationships with are ones that are local. That opens you up to go across the country or wherever
potentially
data exists.
Yeah.
Right?
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense. Yeah.
And if and what he was just describing, and I want to go back to this with your Marcus and Millichap example, you're on a call with those guys, dropped a pin on the map. Walk me through that again. What was the pin on the map in the first place? Like that was a loan that was closed on a deal?
Yeah, you have obviously the mortgage broker knows the address of their property, right? So there's a bunch of different ways you can search on Capitalize. Like most people are doing I need to see what loans are closing in Dallas, Texas. But let's say you closed a deal, right? You're like, I'm going to drop my deal on a map. So you type it in. If you select places on Capitalize, right, it'll drop a pin on the map, right? In a map on the right, assets on the left, right? So there's a red pin on the map where that deal is that you closed, right? Then you can see every loan, right, based on another address, right, around that pin. So if you just closed a retail deal in Dallas, you drop the pin where that deal was. You want to see other borrowers around because that's the best, most relevant outreach you can do to those other sponsors or borrowers in that market is by saying, I just closed this loan down the street from you. We got great terms. Here they are. That's a really, really important trigger or relevant trigger to those borrowers to get a response.
And I assume, and I assume you could see the loan maturities when you're looking that up.
You can either look at the loans maturing around that pin, or you can look at the originations around that pin, or the active loans around that pin, right? You can change the kind of filtering how you see fit, right?
All right, I'm going to translate this for Timmy a little bit.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, and he'll probably be able to visualize what I'm about to say. But imagine we just do a deal here. Okay.
Yeah.
And we do what he described. We drop a pin on the map. We see who the other, where all the other loans are within 15 miles or something like that.
Sure.
Now I'm assuming, I haven't seen this yet, but I'm assuming you can probably filter by, the lowest low hanging fruit is other people that own properties who have a loan that's about to mature, say in the next 12 to 18 months.
Right.
They're going to have to refinance or sell.
Right.
And there's not really a third option. I mean, it would be hand the keys back or, something bad. So those people are often going to need to transact. Talking about people with motivation to do something.
Yeah.
And if you're saying, not only can I help you, but here's what we just did. This comp impacts the value of your property. And so they're going to want the information on the deal that just did. Our property's like yours, this deal we just did.
Yeah.
It's sold for $300 a square foot. Therefore, your property is likely impacted by that sale, the value of that property, and on and on. And I can connect you with capital. I can, it arms the commercial real estate broker with the ability to
see what
find almost this is overstating, but you know how Google search is so powerful because they're showing me ads on things I'm searching for.
Yeah.
So I'm indicating interest by searching and they're showing me ads on that thing.
Yeah.
So there's this huge alignment. Well, somebody who's coming up on the end of a loan term is in the same way motivated and you're talking to them about what they most need.
Right.
And so that can be a real sweet alignment right there.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Bo's getting excited.
Yeah, so this is 2801 East Coast Highway, right? Like a retail deal in Corona Del Mar, Newport, right, in my area. So it drops the pin on the map, and then you kind of you can draw a circle around it, or you just use the map view.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to see other maturing loans around that asset, right? So these are all deals that I can Strong Hill Capital, retail. You want to get to the borrower of that information. We give you access. So then you put it in your marketing. You can see my screen, right? Am I?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you go through. This is a list of 1,700 folks, right, that you can reach out to.
Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot of maturing loans.
Well, if you did it in
with,
Kentucky, it'd be a different number, but yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Kalamazoo, Michigan's going to be much less, right? Like it just depends.
Right. Right.
Now, what's your, I don't know if this is the right term. I was going to say, what's your market penetration? But really what I'm asking is how much of the, like when you say there's, say, 1,700 maturing loans over the next, like, what percentage of the loans do you have data on? Like, is that all of them? Or is that about 80% of the, like,
Yeah, we're the ones that are missing. Where can we find those ones?
that's,
It's hard to tell, but between like all of our sources of data, which are quite a few different like sources of data, like probably in the 90 to 95%.
okay.
Like
Well,
there are situations where like if there's a loan that has mezz debt on it, that's not necessarily like out there in the ether. It's something that we can deploy an AI agent to pull in, for example, right? But mezz, smaller portion of the overall origination market, right? Or pref equity, right? It's kind of equity, but it's kind of debt, right? That pref equity stat, which is more prevalent, like we might have miss some of those pure pref equity transactions or financings, right? But for the most part, like loans, big or small, like we should be pulling in 90-95% of all those loans over the last 10 plus years.
are you looking
Right,
at pref equity?
Yeah, mezz debt and pref equity.
Okay, well, let's define some terms here.
Another shout out to The Insider's Edge of Real Estate by James Nelson. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, well, how would you define mezz debt or mezzanine debt?
Like
Mezzanine. Middle level.
Second, yeah, exactly. It's like there's a first you take on, and mezz is usually in first position, more expensive, shorter term, right? It's not like a 10-year mortgage. It's like
It's often kind of a bridge
year. Yeah,
to
it's
get
like
you there.
Like exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's a non-traditional form of financing that mixes debt with equity. In the capital stack, it has higher risk than senior debt and lower risk than preferred equity and common equity. It also has
But
greater
higher
rewards than
yield.
senior debt.
Yeah, higher
Yeah,
yield.
but fewer than preferred equity and common equity. So,
And preferred equity is the pref equity that he was talking about.
yes, okay.
So
Yeah,
it's
those
kind of
are-
like the different layers of the capital stack.
I see. I just haven't heard it like mezz debt. That's so cool. You're so cool. Mezz debt, pref equity. Yeah, that's def cool. Wicked awesome.
Here's what's going to happen, Luke. We have a conference we're going to next week in Vancouver, and Timmy's emceeing this thing. So hasn't done a commercial real estate thing in his life outside of this podcast, but he's emceeing this conference, and I can almost guarantee you that he's going to be throwing mezz debt and pref equity around.
Oh man, yeah. I am. This is actually very helpful.
Yeah.
You're throwing out some new terms for me. Oh yeah.
Well, you've got the personality, I think, and I think that's the most important. Like,
Yeah.
spice it up a little bit versus like the usual MC.
Oh yeah.
Right. Like,
Oh yeah, there's going to be more
bring a little
energy
more
in the room.
energy, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes. I'm gonna make it super fun. I'm gonna have to compete with Circus de Olay or whatever.
Cirque du Soleil.
Cirque du Olay. I think I'm gonna.
Cirque.
You know how everyone's going to be
Cirque du
coming in like a, you got that cool tailored suit or whatever. I was thinking I'd dress up as a clown and be like, oh, I thought the theme was a circus, which it kind of is, right? That's not totally out of the box, but
That'll work.
yeah.
This will
anywho.
happen
Well,
after.
please film this for me. If you
Oh.
I need to get that. You've got.
I can-
my cell
I can
phone.
do that.
I need you to record that and send it.
In fact, this is going to be a conference full of people you could sell to,
Oh, right.
So it's the CCIM Fall Forum. Whole bunch of brokers.
Yeah, baby.
Not the mortgage brokers that are probably your core comp, but
Yeah, we like
full
the
of people you can.
Mortgage Banker Association, craft conferences. Those are the ones that we. But there's some CCIM folks. There's some NAOP folks, but just less.
Yep.
We prioritize the ones that I think are more focused on finance, right?
Sure. What about, I was on your website, and I'd be interested to see your thoughts on, what about sponsors, like deal sponsors? Like we just started a fund about 2 years ago. So we're raising money, we're deploying it. How Like, what are some use cases for like the fund manager type?
Well, you can, I guess, for a different reason, use, the maturing loans. We have distress signals as well, right? Like if you want to determine buying opportunities, right, going and seeing like, okay, should I reach out to this owner or the lender, potentially if the deal has a maturity or is in distress in some form, like generating leads for you to purchase, right? And then also having your, I would always encourage you to use a broker, right? And we're hoping to stand up like broker profiles. So like the same way we have lender mapping or matching in a search, like I think eventually we'll have like a different portal for brokers, like to see who the best mortgage broker is in any market, right? So I'd always encourage you to like work with a broker, but I think it's still important for you as, the fund manager to have your pulse on what's going on, like what loans are maturing, which lenders are active, right? Like
Yep.
it's still important to know that type of stuff for your underwriting, right? Like, we're buying this deal. What other deals are getting done in this market? What type of lender is it, right? Because if you can only get private money loans on some deal, it's a little bit different than getting a bank loan or getting a life co loan or getting a, debt fund loan, right?
Sure.
So staying on top of, I think it's still smart to stay on top, but you could identify like areas of opportunity, getting a hold, people love the off-market deal search.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
going in and trying to identify off-market opportunities. Right?
Do you see a future where you'll add the equity piece?
Yeah, it's called equity. It's called capitalize.com. It's not called like firstmortgage.com.
Right. Yeah. But I would be interested. Yeah, I would be interested in seeing. Okay. Yeah.
Capitalize.io, excuse me. I think I said capitalize.com, but
you did, and I was going to throw it back at you, but I was like, no. But no, I mean, like, I'd be interested to see what, what LPs are active in the market, what family office information, that kind of stuff would be.
We have that because we have the sponsor is the owner effectively, right? Like who's the owner of this deal or who's the borrower on this deal, right? And you can filter by like who's originating loans. You probably don't want to look at refis, right? But you look at like you can look people that are deploying capital construction loans or like purchase loans, we call them sale, right? Like you can see who's deploying capital in a market. That's a group that you could partner with. They're the GP or the LP or vice versa, right? Like
Sure.
if they're deploying capital today, that means they've hopped off the fence and they're deploying fresh capital in that market. So that's a good way of using it as well.
What this being so new, what are some issues you all are running into that you're trying to fix, and what are some things that you're looking forward to in the next couple of years of being able to provide?
Aggregating, cleansing the data is definitely an art form, right? And that art form is like we're training our artist, which is like AI agents, right? To go and pull it in, make it as accurate as possible. And I think that's like, maybe I'm not doing myself any service by like acknowledging that, but I think it's good to acknowledge like we're never done cleansing and organizing the data. Like there's always more we can do. We can always make it better. We can enrich the data with other information we can find across the web, right? So there's like, I believe that like data layer, which we're standing on, right? So like the vision I like to talk about, it's like, oh, we're building this like virtual commercial real estate building starting with like data. The foundation is data. And we're never not investing in like making sure that foundation is strong before we add layers or stories or features or product lines on top of that data, right?
Yeah.
But that second story or that second product or features that we release are only going to be more productive or more valuable with a strong foundation, data foundation.
Sure.
Right. So making sure to answer your question, like just making sure the data is, we talked about trust, right? Like brokers need to trust, we need to build trust, right? So making sure that data, people trust it and it's accurate to 99.9%, right? Or maybe that's unrealistic, but like a high percent conviction. Right?
Well, look, if you didn't answer that question that way, anybody that's familiar with AI at all wouldn't really have believed what you said. Like acknowledging that's just the reality of working with this type of technology these days is you're always tuning it, and you should never stop tuning it. Like there's always ways to do it better. So it's a very fair answer. Yep.
Right. Being in this industry, I'm sure you're always looking down the pipe of like what's coming next with AI. What more could we do? How the agentic AI is improving and such. Are you seeing anything that maybe we wouldn't particularly see unless, you know, we talk to our friend who's really into AI, Michael Hieronymus?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a better question for my co-founder, who's like the boy genius, ones and zeros guy. But there's always, I would say, from the model standpoint, like it seems like ChatGPT or Grok or Gemini. That's the good thing about those companies competing against each other, because they're moving so quickly, and then we build our models on top of their models that are like pretty much every 2 weeks or month there's like something new coming out that allows you to like crawl the web or like ingest information faster, or right. So it's like it's moving pretty quickly, and like we're not building robots here, right? It's like we're aggregating data, and even in its current form, it's like super powerful, and then they're releasing more and more stuff. So it's like, and it's easy for us because back to the beginning, right? Like we're built on this new technology layer, and we use AI in pretty much every level: coding, code base, AI agents aggregating the data. It's like easy for us to swap the latest model in and out, or plug in multiple models, right? Like Gemini, Minstrel, ChatGPT, whatever it is, right? So OpenAI, right? So it's like we can move things in and out if it quickly, easily, efficiently, if it yields the best outcome.
Yeah.
Right? So things are just moving very, very quickly.
Right.
Which is, again, back to what I was saying, like we're built on top of the latest and greatest platforms. It's easier for us to swap that in and out.
Right.
Maybe a company that's 20, 30 years old, right? So
Yeah.
And well, the other thing about this, and this is something Hieronymus likes to say, is it'll never be any worse than it is right now.
Right.
Like every day it gets better.
Right.
Because the technology continues to move forward. So like if you like it now, you're going to love it next week.
Yeah.
You
Until
know, like
until ChatGPT 5 comes out and everyone's like, oh. No, you're right.
I think
you're
we're
right.
just we're being hard. It's like everything, you know, there's going to be those like, you know, how many iPhones have you looked at? Oh my God, this is the next thing. You're like, wah. It's like,
Yeah.
Wasn't that great? Like iPhone 10 and 11 or 12. It's like,
Right.
You know, sometimes it's like not that big of a step. So like maybe we should be a little bit less hard on these.
Yeah, a little bit more grace. Yeah. What they've done is pretty incredible. You're right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're right. You're right. Luke, what do you like to do for fun?
Oh man, I got 3 kids and 2 dogs, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
hanging out with them is probably the most fun, right? Like I don't golf when I can, love playing golf. Like I played sports in college. Like can't play as much volleyball as I used to just because my shoulder's banged up, but I love golf. I think it's just a really, really difficult sport. It's very mentally challenging, you know, hand-eye coordination, physically challenging as well. But like everybody can play it, right? So it's like
Right.
it's pretty fun. So I challenge myself with golf, but then like, you know, spending time with family. Yeah, I'd like to run or work out or swim in the ocean, right? So it's like that's what I like to do for fun. Like sports, right? I love watching sports too. Who doesn't?
Yeah,
Follow
of course.
every major sport.
He doesn't.
Right?
I do. That's all my time right now is watching Tisby.
It's the best time of the year for sports, right? We had the Ryder
It is.
Cup, the baseball playoffs, right? Now we've got
Football just
Football,
started.
football, college football. It's
The
like
Bears
hockey
just
coming
won.
up. Yeah, I'm kind of a Bears fan because Caleb Williams, a USC guy, so I'm like following the Bears.
Oh,
There's
nice.
a lot of Crexi guys from Chicago that love the Bears, so I kind of
Oh, yeah.
was rooting for the Bears on the side. And like in LA, growing up in LA or Southern California, we didn't really have any teams. At least my generation, right? Like
Right.
the Rams and the Raiders left in the early 90s, like before I was even like really into it. And they came back, and I've been obviously like Rams first if they're playing everybody else, but like not like I'm in love with the Lakers. Like the Lakers are like, I'll cry if they lose, right? Like I'm still building my way up to where I have that kind of passion for the Rams, right?
Right.
It's like right? So
No, I totally get it. I was in Chicago. I lived in Chicago for 12 years. Our mom is from Chicago, so we've always been Cubs.
Yeah.
You know, our hardcore
Cubs
Cubs.
had a good day yesterday.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, they
They're
did?
playing right now. It's
Nice.
down 1-0, bottom of the 4th.
All right, come on,
Same as
Cubs.
yesterday. Pretty much the same thing.
That's right.
And they came
Yes.
back and scored a bunch of runs.
How old are your kids?
5, 3, and 1.
Oh, I hear you.
Wow.
All right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's I can see.
I have 3 kids, 2 dogs as well, but my
Yeah.
kids are 23, 19, and 16.
Yeah.
5, 3, and 1, bub. Whew.
Man, that's special.
That's
special
a
time.
lot of action in
And
your
my
house.
baby capitalized, which is a newborn, I guess. in the
Uh-huh,
sense
that's
of,
right.
Yeah.
Like how old it is, right? So
Yeah.
I like to stack on. Maybe I'm a little bit of a masochist to like pour it on all at once. So,
Yeah.
but it's great. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Having kids is pretty awesome.
It is. And is it what are the genders?
Boy, girl, boy.
Boy, girl, boy. Oh, wow. Little girl sandwich there. Boy, girl, boy.
Trust me, she's running. I'm not worried about her. She's running the house in the middle.
Yeah.
Like she just like not worried about her being in the middle. I'm worried about the boys on the ends. Like she's gonna be a handful for sure.
Yeah.
She is now and will be.
Yeah, it's amazing. And they're all so different, right?
They all. It's tough to tell with the younger one, right? Because he's only like 1.
Well, sure, yeah.
The oldest is more gentle and emotional. The second one is like she is like a little baby terrorist, like running through walls, like picking on her older brother, right? Like
Yeah.
classic middle child, I would say. And
Yep.
then we'll see with the youngest.
Yeah,
right?
we'll see.
He's only 1, but he wants to be in the middle wrestling already. I could see he's like super excited to start.
That's
getting his
amazing.
wrestling and getting his hands dirty with his older siblings. So
Yeah. I've got a 3-year-old little girl as well, and a 7-year-old girl. But that 3-year-old, you're describing my 3-year-old, just so rambunctious and strong-willed, but
very
also
strong-willed.
strong-willed, but also so adorably cute, and she's turning it on too. Just which
like,
Birdie
"Don't-
hasn't really been doing
please
that much,
don't-
but
please don't do that. And it's like, she's like, do it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
She just gets that look in her eye like, oh gosh, here we go.
Yeah. Oh no.
So-
Oh no. Well, cool. Thanks for sharing that with us. And Bo, you got any other questions about?
Well, yes. What's the next step for Capitalize at this point? Or how could our audience engage with you best?
They can go to capitalize.io, right? We have 7-day free trial, and then obviously we're going to call you once you sign up, right? Or they can email me directly. Like, I know people probably would discourage this, but because I'm busy as a CEO or co-founder, right? But like, people still call me at Crexi. Like, I gave out my information early on and continue to do it at Crexi because like I like having a pulse what's going on with our users. Like, send me an email directly, luke@capitalize.io. Like, I'm happy to spend time with you one-on-one, right? Because it's a good way for me to get feedback. It's a good way for me to have pulse on what's going on.
Sure.
Right, out in the market. So they can reach out to me directly, luke@capitalize.io, or go directly to capitalize.io and then sign up in the upper right, right? So I'm going to refrain from giving my cell phone, but I'll give my email.
That's a good idea.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Fair enough. Great. Well, hey, if I'm ever in your neck of the woods, I'd love to kick your ass in a sport that I invented called Tisbee, which is pretty much it's a disc game on a tennis court with an extra net. It is so fun, and you're a volleyball guy, so it kind of looks like volleyball, but no balls, all disc, no balls. If you'd be down for that, yeah.
How big of a disc are we talking about? Are we talking about like the different kind of disc you have in like what is that?
Disc golf?
Disc golf, right?
Yeah,
it's like
so-
there's different weights, or is it just like a proper beach frisbee?
Right. Well, you can do it with a beach frisbee or the ultimate frisbee, right?
And it's a
170
volleyball net. Is it a higher volleyball net or is it a lower net?
It's a little bit lower than a volleyball net, and it's a foot up and down, and then there's a 9-inch gap between that net and the tennis net. So it's basically the you go 9 inches above the top of the tennis net, and then you've got another foot above that, and that's about how high it is.
So you got to throw it in between?
So you've got to throw it over and touch the other opponent's floppy or their side of the court, which looks like a floppy disk. We call it a floppy. So yeah, you throw it over the top and try to get it to touch the other person's court.
Like a target. It's like a target.
Yeah, well, you're just trying to hit it on their court, and they're trying to catch it and throw it over and do the same. And once you get the ball, you've got the ball. Oh my goodness, no balls. Once you have the disc, you got like 2 seconds to throw it and no more than 2 steps to throw it back, right? And you go back and forth until
Kinda
somebody.
like ultimate frisbee, right? Where you play ultimate frisbee, you can like catch it, take 2 steps, but you got to get rid of it.
That's right. Yes, just like that. And if you go through the slit, that 9-inch gap, you score an extra point, right? So if you score through the slit, that's 2 points. Otherwise, it's just 1 point.
The 9 is part of the game, like the
Oh, yeah.
separation of the
Oh
two.
yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like the 3-pointer,
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's hard to get to. There is a line in the middle of the court that you have to throw behind that. You can't be like right up next to the net unless you're doing doubles. Then you could throw it and you could bank it over. We just
I've
did
been
that.
known to be pretty good at some plastic exchange, throwing the frisbee.
Yeah.
So.
And with your volleyball background, you're good with nets. Right.
Although there's no like spiking, I guess in this.
There is
or
no
there?
spike.
Can I
If you
block
have
the-
doubles,
can I get up there and
yes.
block it?
If you have doubles, like right, if we were to play doubles, you could throw it to your teammate. They could throw it to you, and you can essentially spike it through the slit, right, or bink it over the top. That is super fun. This is a new rule for Bo. He doesn't know this one, but yeah, if that does sound interesting, you can go to tizbee.com, Tizbee, and you could see we got a whole tutorial there.
I'm gonna check it out. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, check it out.
It is fun, I'll tell you.
It is so fun.
And my daughter is the
Tisbee.
official photographer for Tisbee International.
That's right. Tizbee, Tizbee.com.
TIZ.
Yeah, Tizbee.com, and you'll see. But anyway, you're a sports guy and you're a California guy. Just Tizbee just be so fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a pretty epic website.
Thanks.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't even seen your website.
Yeah. You should go. You should go to it.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Yeah, baby.
Timmy, man.
Yeah, it's unrolling out. We're unrolling it. Yeah, it's the stage of the game where we're, you can get more people to play.
It's got such an 80s vibe to it.
Oh
I
yeah,
like
very
it.
much.
I love the '80s. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
I
very
dig,
80s.
I dig it.
Yeah, sweet. Well, I did capitalize.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks.
Yeah, you're very welcome, Luke. You're very welcome. Well, is there anything else you want our audience to know before we end here?
I think we're good. I really enjoyed my time on the pod, and I think this was pretty fun.
Yeah, man. Thanks for
Any
coming
more
on.
questions
And
for me?
well,
Bo might.
do you recognize the obvious connection that you and I have?
Yes, I did recognize that. It's hard
Like the
to
whole-
measure through video only, right? But I'm feeling good vibes from you.
Well, I was just thinking of the Dukes of Hazzard thing. And you might
Oh,
be
yeah,
too
Luke and
young
Bo.
for the
Luke
Duke,
and
but
Bo, yes,
Bo and
yes.
Luke, man,
Oh
That
yeah,
was-
Yes.
Dukes of Hazzard all the way.
Daisy Duke, Luke, and Bo. Yeah.
that's right. Yeah,
General Lee.
yeah. Generally,
Yeah.
yeah, baby.
Boss Hog.
Yeah,
They made a newer one, I think, with like
Johnny Knoxville.
Johnny Knoxville. And,
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
Shawn Michael Scott. Or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, right. And Jessica Simpson's in it. I just
Jessica
remember that,
Simpson and
obviously.
Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds is Boss Hog. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Oh man, I forgot about that movie.
Me too. I was just thinking about the show, which,
Yeah.
I'm nearly 50 at this point, so
Yeah,
you can't be too much younger than me and have watched the Dukes of Hazzard as a kid.
yeah, yeah. Right, that's right. Yeah,
But
you
anyway.
are so old. What's your favorite TV show right now?
Oh man, TV show.
Did you not hear like new startup, 3 kids, 5
Yeah,
dreams?
no,
Like
that's-
this
I
dude
was
doesn't
just
watch
gonna say,
TV.
when I have time.
Yeah, okay. I was just vibing.
The Lakers.
Oh
The
yeah,
Lakers,
they're
the
sports.
Dark Horses is pretty good.
It is.
If I'm
haven't
feeling
seen
like
that.
I've had a stressful day, I like throwing on like Modern Family. It's just great to keep on.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
I like to consider myself like a Phil dad. I don't know if you know
Yes.
Phil Dunphy, but he's just I love him as a character, right? So it's like I don't know. I don't really have a lot of time for TV shows, but Dark Horses is pretty good. Gosh, what have I seen recently that was really good? Like Mindhunter, it was like one of my, like David Fincher. Yeah, Mindhunter was super good. The show's not on anymore, but that show.
Yeah, that's a good show. That was a really good book.
Yeah. So, like the spy stuff. Reacher's good. I've read a lot of those Reacher books. So I'm a fan of Reacher. And I feel like the guy who plays Reacher in the show is more like the guy in the book, right? So it's like shows are like
Oh yeah, way more than Tom Cruise.
Way more than Tom Cruise. Although
In the
those
book-
movies were pretty good.
In the book, he's 6'5", 255.
Oh, right.
And so Tom Cruise
Alan
played. I mean, it was
Rickman
like,
is a good-
come on,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, his personality is only that size. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well,
All right, cool.
Luke,
Yeah.
thanks so much for coming on, man. This was a great conversation. I'm excited to learn more about Capitalize. For all of you guys that are listening, I encourage you to go to capitalize.io and yeah, see how
Thank
the
you.
opaque industry can be made more transparent.
Oh, nice. Nice callback.
Well done, man.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for the
Appreciate
time.
it.
You got it, man.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Me.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Commercially Speaking.
Shout out to Luke Morris. Thanks for coming on. You've built 2 platforms, transformed how brokers close deals, and made us look underqualified to host our own show. Also, I tried to list my old futon on Crexi during the break. That's not what it's for. My bad.
If this episode made you laugh, learn, or want to build a billion-dollar PropTech empire out of spite, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast.
And hey, if you're drowning in email, Excel, and bad fonts from 2008, get yourself a virtual assistant at superpowershq.com/commercially speaking. They'll do the stuff you hate so you can go back to yelling, "We're in escrow" in public. For those in the bag, that's superpowershq.com/commercially speaking.
Also, I invite you to sign up for our newsletter at subscribe.wgbaron.com. Every week, we send you the latest episode, my top reads, and occasionally whatever Timmy finds on the sidewalk.
True story. Last week, I found a pigeon that looked like Barbara Corcoran. It was the most beautiful pigeon I've ever seen, which leads me to Barbara. You beautiful brain. You blazer-suited beast. You're the only person on the planet who can both sell a duplex and verbally dismantle Mark Cuban in the same 12 seconds.
Please don't bring up the pigeon.
It was the most beautiful pigeon I've ever seen. Barbara, come on the show. You've inspired millions. Let us be your weirdest decision yet.
On that note, we'll see you next time.
This episode was brought to you by Barbara Corcoran. She doesn't know it yet. Love you, brother.
Love you, man.
Bye, Alice.
Bye, Alice. Bye, Bridget.
Bye, Bridget. Bye.